coming up, I'm going to discuss something that we talked about in January. At the beginning of the year, we talked about Dr. Bonnie Candia Bailey. And she was an employee of the Lincoln University in Missouri. Lincoln University in Missouri, not the one in Pennsylvania. She was employed as, I can't remember her position, but Lincoln University, Missouri is a historically Black college university, HBCU. And unfortunately, she took her own life because she stated and she felt that she was being bullied on the job. As a result of that happening, the president of Lincoln University, Dr. Mosley, he was put on paid leave. So he did leave. They had an interim president, but he was still receiving compensation for his role as president until the investigation was concluded. So the investigation was concluded as of March 8th. And this is what the Board of Curators. Now, their Board of Curators operates as if the Board of Directors, Board of Trustees. So at Lincoln University, they call it the Board of Curators. So this is what, let me pull this out. Let me see. Hold on for a second. This is what they found. However, the Board of Curators stated in a letter that the investigation concluded on March 8th, declaring that Dr. Mosley had not bullied Dr. Candia Bailey, and that, quote, university leaders and President Mosley himself all confirmed that his communication style can be described as direct. So as a result of that, what you see on the screen is a letter from Lincoln University, the National Alumni Association. The National Alumni Association is not pleased with the findings of the investigation. And basically, they are calling for certain board members to remove themselves as well as the president. So I'm going to read a couple of paragraphs or lines from the letter from the Lincoln University Alumni Association. It says, we were given a president with minimum athletic leadership abilities and placed in a role requiring even stronger critical thinking skills. As such, his lack, meaning the president, thereof has become evident throughout his 2.5 years of service, and for the Board of Curators to reassert this flawed decision and to act without change in this administration is further evidence of their inadequacies to care for and protect the interests of the university's mission and its sovereignty as a historically Black college and university. And it goes on to say the diminished value of the students, faculty, staff, and alumni is embedded in this outcome, and the Board of Curators should be held accountable for their, quote, poorly driven decision-making regarding the life and health of Lincoln University. And then it goes on to say the capacity of the Board of Curators to conduct an independent investigation of themselves is an implicit and complicit ruse to subvert the truth. Truth pressed to the earth shall rise again. External reviews expressed by two of the most critical stakeholder groups in this assembly as alumni and students have been dismissed as an acceptable loss. And then it goes on to say, to whom much is given, much is required, and the Board of Curators has fallen short in your service to humanity. Now exit with dignity. To do less is unacceptable. And that is the letter submitted from the National Alumni Association to the Board of Curators. So who do we have on the board? So these are the Board of Curators. We have President Victor Paisley, Vice President Richard Gallahan. We have the secretary is Everett Cade. We have the treasurer, Richard Pop, board member, Vernon Bracy, board member, Stacia Bradley Brown, board member, Terry Racker, and board member, Tina Shannon. So at this point in time, I'm not certain if they want all the board to dismiss themselves or certain board members, but I did tell you I'm going to come up with an update because this was very important, especially during this time, Women's History Month. So basically, I'm not certain what message is being portrayed. We can remove the picture now of the board. I'm not certain of what message is being portrayed, but it's very interesting that the investigation that the Board of Curators hired, they found no bullying whatsoever. Now, what I will say is Title IX is very interesting in that with Title IX, when it comes to matters like this, it is very important and vital for you to have almost like recordings of the incident, a video of the incident, because your word versus someone else's word, unfortunately, it's not going to fly. And then if you do have a recording or video, you cannot be the person to say that you pretty much instigated the incident. And we're going to talk about this with Jasmine Andrews in her book, Sully Bride, because this is sort of a perfect, unfortunate segue to discuss how women are treated. How women are treated, I'm going to say this, in the church, how women are treated at home, how women are treated in the workplace.
Let's talk about urban issues plaguing our community